Hi, Chris Duff over at Serious Land Capital, vacant land funding partner. Today, just wanted to share additional accelerants when it comes to AI utilization. I know I've been reporting on this last couple of weeks. It's just we're taking our business to new heights just by starting to use this more routinely here. It's just crazy how encouraging and invigorating some of this is. So something that needed to be accomplished, and I've reported a few times, with the land pricer side, I was over budget from working with the main engineering agency, and based on beta feedback, there was probably going to be another 50 to 100K worth of engineering costs to get the product more efficient and more user friendly based on the feedback I was getting. I thought, again, mea culpa on my side that the beta review is going to be much easier and more minor in terms of various bug fixes and so forth. And the pricing really seems to be accurate. It's just, we need to make it more friendly for users and incorporating a lot more LLM integrations and reducing user input drastically. So that's what we're actively working on. But because I was over budget, I needed to figure out, okay, I need to either bring CTO on with equity upside within the company, so I don't need to have any more out-of-pocket costs, or I'm going to need to go raise a smaller round of outside capital in order to keep up the development work. But very fortunately, the head project manager that was managing the agency engineers, who has been working with me for months and is kind of the cutting edge of tech within this field, was open to taking on a CTO position within Land Pricer. And so we already had arrived at a handshake agreement to, keep progress up. Let's go, with the understanding, hey, let's formalize through written agreement. Obviously, need to get that done. And I gave myself, hey, I need a couple weeks to work on this LLCA agreement. Or LLCA agreement is just that's repeat, just like when somebody says the VIN number for a car. Now it's and it already stands for number. So now an LLCA is just an LLC agreement, which is an LLCA anyway. So forgive me for the misspeak there. When I was trying to, I have attorneys that I can go to and ask for help here, but I'm also like, hey, I don't want to be spending a lot of extra money here. I'm already over budget. We're not, flowing in revenue at the moment. I wanted to get as much groundwork done as possible. I already have a very robust LLCA that we utilize within our Serious Land Capital business. I'm like, how much of this can I take with the unique clauses that I arrived at with Andrew, current acting CTO for Land Pricer here, and just, also adjust it to where, myself as the initial founder and who's already sunk a lot of funds in this business, maintains a lot of protections on my side legally. So there's just, less loopholes for me to potentially, lose control of the business, or who knows what might happen over the coming months here. So I was trying to orient some of the AI models to help draft this LLCA utilizing past documentation that I already have, plus the necessary clauses that I wanted to put in place. So initially I used ChatGPT to do this, and it definitely helped prep a good legal standing for some of the unique clauses that I wanted built in. Like we were going to have, go to market milestone defined by paying customers, and a certain amount of equity would be vested upon reaching that milestone, and then the remainder over a 2-year vesting period post go to market milestone. But revenue share was actually accelerated beyond the initial vested equity. It doesn't matter if all of this is kind of going over your head. It just matters there wasn't that many boilerplate standard language for this. So the AI models were helpful for orienting around that. And they also suggested, hey, here's a lot more protections in place, IP assignments and so forth, non-solicitation, non-competes that are very robust, that are suggested in cases like this. So when I was using the ChatGPT format, okay, it answered a lot of the questions. We were able to arrive at where the LCA should be. But when I asked for a Microsoft Word export of the LCA, it was so short, like it was definitely not going to hold up like in any type of legal jurisdiction. It was boiling down the clauses into like 1.5 pages total. And LCAs don't need to be like crazy. For our serious land capital one, I think it's maybe 6 or 7 pages max. And some of those are more like signature pages. But, at least those are like robust and have, relevant boilerplate language. And then even when I went back to ChatGPT and was like, hey, I need you to really take in some of that boilerplate language from my existing LCA, make this more robust, like be legally viable in a court of law, and it wasn't able to register that output. And so like it was pretty disappointing from that side. And so then I was on again Callan Faulkner's AI bootcamp, joining her Automate to Accelerate. Again, I'm just I have no affiliate relationship. Just I think she's incredible at what she does, and already AI is taking our business to the next level. So I saw it as a clear-cut route to accelerate even further in what we're doing. So I was asking her and her team, how do I improve these outputs from the legalese side? And they were just suggesting, hey, do it within Claude and don't necessarily orient it towards exported file formats. Instead, just have it do it in a plain text artifact, which just kind of appears on the right side of your Claude screen. And I was able to orient with building a separate Claude project and including the ChatGPT formatted LLCA, even the short version, plus my existing Serious Land Capital one. Plus I had another like fast template from the Founders Institute that might have been helpful for some equity owner, vested equity distribution schemes. And just, I asked kind of the same question. I also had like a more detailed prompt from Callan's team that, was kind of orienting around, okay, setting the correct legal jurisdiction, making sure everything's clear and understandable, legally viable in the relevant state that you're setting up the document in. And so that was a little bit better compared to the prompt that I initially pumped out, asked for all the various clarifying questions. And so I just did this in like less than 45 minutes total here. And the output was just, 100 times better compared to ChatGPT. I mean, it gave me a full 15-page LLCA. And I went through it in depth. I'm like, you can't afford to have your eyes glaze over with legalese here. Just take a look at this. And so I was doing it side by side, the output LLCA in relation to the LLCA that I have for Serious Land Capital, which I already know has held up for years now with, standard legal language, head attorney review and so forth. And the output from Claude was as good, if not better, than our existing Serious Land Capital LLCA. And it also bridged together certain documents all within one LLCA. So initially ChatGPT had like a separate IP assignment clause. Claude just brought that all within the main LLCA, and the language is so much more robust with all the various protections that I had asked for previously. And like with that output, I was comfortable, like, okay, I'm going to be able to send this over to Andrew like for his review here, but I had already prefaced previewed the main attorney that I work with, like, hey, I was hoping you could kind of redline and look over this. But looking at this now, I'm like, I don't think it's worth like the extra, several $100 or a couple grand to redline this. If we were a lot bigger, more money's involved and so forth, I'm going to have like an extra legal eyes take a look at this, but I'm comfortable enough with legal documents, and especially knowing that I have a precedent of a legally binding LLCA that's worked for years within the funding business, that I didn't see any key holes, and especially from the protections for me as the kind of sole manager of the LLC, like it's very, very in favor of myself as the manager in terms of, any actions that can be taken and so forth, which is what, precisely that I was trying to get this set up to be in the current iteration of the business. And again, I'm just kind of stunned at how good the quality of this is, that it can save, potentially thousands of dollars with, attorney fees, and just pump these out faster. Because no one it's not really productive to be spending time just prepping legal docs and all that. Like, the main work needs to be done on the product and so forth, and marketing and sales and all of that. So I would rather not spend key hours during the week on prepping these legal docs. So just to have a way faster route to prep all of this is just, absolutely remarkable. And couldn't be more excited about, again, the future of this technology. So wanted to share that as a win. If you're interested in seeing the output that I got from the AI, I'm happy to share. Just DM me, leave a comment here, and can follow up. Or even the prompt that I'd use to get the output. So, if you haven't tried it already, like, you are definitely missing out. Can save you hours, can save you, potentially thousands of dollars. Or who knows, like, even multi-thousands of dollars of potential lawsuits that could come up by having not improper legal protection or none at all. So just FYI on that side. With that, if you're seeking funding, seriousland.capital. A zero cost review of your land deals at Land Daily Diligence Facebook group, Mondays and Thursdays. And then landpricer.ai, which I just remarked on. Even more and our current progress there. Check it out. Sign up for the email list as well if you haven't already. Please like and subscribe this podcast. Leave a review if you feel I deserve it. And see you next time around. Bye.